it's me.
Okay, I never know how to say hi or start these things, so I just left it up to Adele to do it for me. I am here to do this Demi Lovato Super Smoky Eye today. It's from the AMA Awards. I really loved it, and I love Demi, so I decided to do this look. Let's get started. Alright, to prime my face, I'm going to be using the Dermalogica Skinperfect Primer. I love this primer because it gives a really smooth effect to your face, and it has a little bit of glow and tint to it. You can't really tell here, but you can see my zit. It's going away. We're getting there. But this primer is a really thick consistency, and I really love the way it looks on the face. So I'm using the Bourjois Healthy Mix Serum Gel Foundation. I bought this on ASOS.com because it is only sold, I believe, in the UK. But it's a really weird consistency because it's very, very thin. I'm guessing that's why it's called the gel foundation. But I really like it for when my skin is dry because it goes on really smoothly and has a hydrating feel. It also feels very, very light on your skin. So I'm just smoothing this all over my face with a Real Techniques contour brush. I know it's for contour, but I like it sometimes for a foundation brush because it's really fluffy. Just a tip, if you have this foundation or plan on getting it, it does dry really fast, so you only have a limited amount of time to work it into the skin. So just keep that in mind when doing your foundation. Work quickly because it dries fast. Demi's look was really bright in the center of her face, so I'm using the lightest color in the Hourglass Ambient Light Edit palette. I'm not really sure what it's called, but it will be in the down bar. It's just kind of a really bright powder, and I'm lightly setting it. So here's the picture of the makeup look that I'm doing. You have a really smoky eye that brings up brown eyes. I think it would pretty much bring out any eyes though. The lips are really dark, kind of maroon color, but it's a little bit of an ombre effect. So I'm gonna get started with the rest of the face. I'm gonna use this Dermalogica Multivitamin Firm. I really love this because it really preps the skin around your eyes for makeup, concealer, eyeshadow, everything. It really smooths the skin out. So I like to put this on before doing my eyes, especially one that's really heavy. So this is a new product. It is a kind of a marker. It's by L'Oreal. I think it's called the Black Buster. And I am going to be laying this on very thickly onto my lash line, so almost like a really thick rounded line. I'm going to bring it higher in the center, but I'm going to just really concentrate it on the lash line because that's the area of the eye that I want to be the darkest. So if you're like me and use kind of this weird pen marker, you're going to pat out the color with your ring finger because you don't want it to be super sticky. You want it to be skin-like and really flat and matte. You can use a cream eyeliner or a cream pencil for this if you prefer. I just wanted to try this new product that I picked up at Target. So now I'm going to take a really warm brown shadow. This is by Stila, and a really wide fluffy brush, and I'm going to start to work that color onto the outer corner of my eye because in Demi's look it looked like there was a pretty warm transition shade on that outer corner. So I'm going to use this darker shade because we're going to come in with a lighter shade to blend out the edges so it's not super dark. You're going to concentrate most of that color on the outer corner like I am right now, blending as you go, but you're going to pull in whatever's left on the brush into the inner corner of the eye. We're going to do a blend after this, so you can blend a little bit, and you do have a fluffy brush. It will help a little bit, but as you can see here, after I've used all the color on the brush, I'm going in and blending everything out with the same brush that I used originally. Now I'm going to take a MAC 217 brush with a more light taupey brown shadow, and I'm just going to lightly run that on the edges of that deep brown that we used because I want it to fade up into my brow bone. I don't want it to be super harsh. And now it's time for the smoke. I'm going to take a Stila really dark black matte shadow. You can use any matte black shadow and a flat synthetic brush. This is the one that came in the Urban Decay Naked 2. And I am just going to lightly start to tap this onto where we put that black liner. And lightly tap, I mean like little short strokes because you want to really lay down the color, and you're going to be packing this matte black on. So there is going to be a lot of black shadow on your face, but if you're really slow with it like I am here, you will not have a ton of fallout. I almost didn't have any fallout at the end of this eye before I put any other makeup on my face. So I am just, as you can see, starting to slowly pat it on and bringing it up very, very slowly. I know I have it in fast forward, but this was a little bit tedious, but it really worked out in the end because it was really smooth. So I am just going back and forth, lightly pulling the black up. I am, you know, dipping my brush in as I go. I didn't show that part, but I am picking up more and more and more color. And then we're gonna kind of fake a crease. We want to take the black above our normal crease so that you can see the black fading up as we open our eyes. And you know, normally I wouldn't tell you to put a matte black, you know, this heavily on your crease, but for this, the look was super, super smoky, and you could see that smoke and that fade with her eyes open. And if we didn't take it up past the crease like this, it would just look like you had a really dark eyelid as opposed to that super smoked effect. So I am taking the color and I'm filling in the outer corners, the inner and outer corners, before I connect it in the middle. So I'm really, again, kind of just putting short strokes of that matte black color on the outer edges of my eye. And you want to keep opening your eyes to check it, to see if you're taking it too high, if you're not taking it high enough, and where the color is hitting. So that helps kind of to create the perfect smoky eye, especially in this type of look, if you just keep opening your eyes as you go and checking yourself and making sure everything is lining up right. So now that I filled out the outer and inner corners, I'm going to make that kind of circular shape on the top of my eye, because this is going to make my eye look a lot bigger. Oh, and word to the wise, if you use your finger to pat the black out, don't use it to smudge your eye out. Look at the frustration. So I am just using my finger to kind of pat everything out to keep it nice and smooth, and I'm doing the same thing on the other side. As you can see my crease wrinkle there, and you can see that I am taking the color right up past that. We are going to blend, don't worry about it being too harsh, but you can see it's really, I really like this because you can really see that black peeking through above the crease. So now we blend. I am taking another 217 brush, and we are going to very lightly blend out these edges. Use a very soft touch because you don't want to blend out too much of the color, but you just are trying to get rid of that hard edge. Look at that fade. It looks great. I love it. I'm not gonna lie. So now I am just picking up a little bit of that black shadow in with a 217 brush, and I'm just pressing it onto the center of the lid in case we've lost any of that black shadow along the way. We're just kind of deepen it up a little bit. As it fades, it looks a little bit of gray, and you really want that black smoke. So I'm going to use my Pixie Glow Dust just to wipe away any fallout that's happened. There wasn't a lot though because of the technique that we had used. And now I'm using this ColourPop shadow. It's like a really shimmery white with a gold undertone. You can go warm or cool toned here. I went a little bit warm toned with the gold, but she definitely has that white pop on the inner corners of her eyes. I'm just applying it with a little small brush just to open up the eyes a bit. Nothing too dramatic, but it's really fun to get a little bit of sparkle there with all the matte black happening. So to keep along with that bright face that she has, I am going to use my Age Rewind Brightener. It is not coming out, and it was very frustrating, but I finally got a bunch of it out. I'm going to use it on the top of my forehead, down my nose, in the center of my face, right where your cheeks are, on my cupid's bow, and on my chin. Again, her look was really bright. She wasn't super carved out, but she did have a little bit of glow and a little bit of bronze, and the center of her face was very, very bright in all the pictures that I saw. So I am just blending this out with a Real Techniques concealer brush, and as you can see here, you can see it's really, really brightening my face as I'm blending it in. I'm going to come in with a lot of bronzer, so don't worry about it being too blown out. This is the Nudestix Contour Stick. I'm going to use the concealer side, which is a medium tone, to kind of conceal under my skin. I know it's really bright already, but this is going to add a little bit more coverage. So I'm just adding that wherever I want that extra coverage on my face that the brightener didn't supply. This is a really warm tone, so it's not really, I wouldn't say it's a contour stick. I would more think of it almost like a bronzer. I'm keeping it nice and high on the cheekbones. I'm not going too carved out here because I just want to add some warmth, but again, not too much contour. I'm spraying that same glow mist on a dual fiber brush because that cream can start to set, and I want to keep it nice and moist. I'm so sorry for using that word. As I'm blending it out, it helps blend the cream out a lot better if anything has kind of started to dry or set. So I'm just going to blend out all this contour. I'm going to add a little bit of bronzer, but this is just kind of a good base to get that warmth going on my face. So I lost a little bit of definition underneath my cheekbones when I was blending everything out, and I was also starting to get a little bit of redness, so I added some of that brightener underneath. It ended up being kind of pink for my skin tone, but it was okay, it's whatever. I would instead probably add a concealer instead of that brightener. maybe something a little more yellow, depending on your skin tone. I'm going back to that Hourglass Ambient Light Edit with a bronzer. It's a really pretty, warm bronzer, but it looks really, really natural on. And get ready for the finger to strike again. Yes, I was not happy about it. I really should have washed my hands, but I did not bring any makeup wipes, unfortunately. So I am just, with that big fluffy brush, just working it again to the outside of my cheekbones, really just building up that bronze color. I'm not bringing it in to the inside of my face because I'm just kind of using it to create some definition around my hairline and my cheekbone. This is not to contour. Like I said, Demi didn't really have a lot of contour. She just had a little bit of warmth on her cheeks and kept it concentrated on the outer edges of her cheeks. So that's what I'm going to do with the blush. This is Dollymix by MAC, and it's a really bright pink color, which is what it looked like Demi had in the pictures. So again, I'm doing the same thing that I did with the bronzer, focusing it high and outside, on the outside of my face. I'm just kind of pressing it on with that big fluffy brush so it's nice and smooth and blends seamlessly into the bronzer. So I'm going to use that same brightening powder that I used at the beginning from the Hourglass edit. I'm just putting this on the center of my face. You can see it's the one on the left, but now I'm going to go into the medium shade, and I'm going to use that for my forehead. You can use the same shade. You don't have to use a different one. I just have the palette, so that's why I wanted to do something a little bit darker. And I'm just pressing it into all the bright points of my cheeks and my face so that I can keep it nice and bright. So I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I'm using a shimmery black eyeliner instead of a matte one. I just wanted to add a little bit of shimmer. It was all really, really matte and dark for me. So I'm using this MAC pencil. It's a special edition, limited edition in the holiday set, and I am just blending it out with a flat brush to create a little bit of smoke. We're going to go in with some black shadows, so don't blend too much of the liner away yet, because we will take that same brush that we used with the eyelid, and we're going to take whatever's left on the brush and just kind of smudge it out, and then take a fluffy brush is the other side of the actual brush that I used, but you can do any fluffy brush and just blend it out, give it a good blending with a fluffy edge so that it can be nice and blended on that bottom lash. I kind of add a little bit of black shadow again because it was starting to fade a little bit, settle into my skin. I'm just lining my water lines with a regular black eyeliner pencil. You can use a sparkly one if you want, but I just went with a matte black color. Using the same plain black eyeliner, I am going to line the top of my lash line. I am just doing a really thin line. It's probably going to just blend right into the black shadow, but it gives a little bit more definition and smokiness to the eye, bringing out whatever eye color you have. It's going to make it pop when you add in this liner. I'm going to fill in my brows with this Stila brow mousse. So I am just going to use this to fill in my brows. It is kind of a mousse consistency. It's kind of hard to get out of the thing. I was squeezing as hard as I could, and once I squeezed it out, it kind of looked disgusting, if you know what I mean. So I am just using this to fill in the brows, concentrating on the arches. I noticed that Demi's brows are very arched and not super thick, but they are very defined. So I was just trying to do the same thing. I haven't gotten my brows done in quite some time now. I've just been maintaining them myself, but they are in desperate need of a good tweezing or threading or whatever I decide to do. And then I also usually get them tinted. So after I fill them in, I use whatever's left to kind of go over the inner corners of the brows. I'm going to be filling in my lips with a maroon kind of cranberry color. Demi had a very like ombre look, and the center color was a brick red, like a really deep dark brick red. So that's what I'm using to line my lips, and then I am also going to be using it to fill in the center of the lips to kind of match that red burgundy color in the center. It's not super dark, but still dark enough to match the other two colors. So I'm just filling in the center in a V motion because I'm going to be taking two other colors to fade into this in the center, so I don't want to take up too much lid space. And then I'm going to be taking this MAC Giambattista Valli lipstick. It's matte. It's a deep plummy color. It's actually darker. It's actually lighter than what it looks in the tube. It almost looks like it's like kind of blackberry color, but it's actually a lot more plum. So I almost left it like this, but then when I was looking at the picture, it was still really dark around the outer edges. I'm also just taking my finger, by the way, to kind of blend the lines between the two. I could have used a lip brush, but I just didn't have one on me, so I used my fingers to just blend it out. You want it to kind of like seamlessly flow into the other color. So then I took this Stila Bocce Lip Good lipstick and I used it to outline the edges of my lips to darken up the lip look a little bit because hers was, like I said, a little bit darker. So I'm just using this duo fiber brush to blend everything together, and that is the finished look. I'm going to add on some Queen Bee lashes by Coco Lashes. As you can see here, they're really dramatic. She had a really wispy look, and I thought that these suited the look very well. I hope you like this look. I am actually really proud of it. I love the way it turned out, and I'll be wearing it a lot. Please subscribe, like, comment, you know the deal if you want to see more videos, and make sure to enter my giveaway. All of the information will be in the down bar. Thanks for watching me ramble. I hope you enjoyed this look, and I hope everyone has a great holiday. Bye!
Can you get a black eyeliner? It's in the drawer.
I'm not gonna get the right one.
It's anything that's black, just black.
What drawer?
Like, grab 2 of them in my desk drawer.
Right.
It's just black.
Is this one? Is this not it?
You're joking, right?
This is in the drawer.
Does that look like a black eyeliner?
Dee.
Oh my god.
I'm just kidding.
You're so dumb.
4 of them.
Okay, I could use one of them.
Okay, I got you 4.